All right, good morning. It's been a great morning so far, and I am super excited about our next guest. You know, what I really find interesting is, you heard Ron Bierman from Alta Fiber, and he started in 1992 at the same company, and he is more excited than he's ever been in his role. And our next speaker also happened to start at her company in 1992. And that's what I think is so special about our industry, is that you can be with an organization for a long time and just be more excited every day to get out of bed and do the mission we're doing. And so Susie Hayes from C Spire, and C Spire has been a great partner for the Fiber Broadband Association since the beginning. We currently have Greg Logan, who serves on our senior council. Chris Champion is on our public policy, he's one of our chairs, and just the amount of support they've given us. But Susie Hayes serves as the president and CEO of C Spire, one of the nation's largest provider of broadband connectivity and managed and cloud services and wireless. So Susie has been with the company, as I said, more than 30 years and has served in several management and executive roles. She's led 3 individual business units and has served as the Chief Experience Officer, the Executive Vice President, and more recently as President. And under her leadership, the company has accelerated e-commerce, digital transformation, and launched best-in-class customer experience and delivered profitable growth across the company's business unit. So please join me in welcoming Susie Hayes.
Good morning. And so just so you know, I started when I was 12, since now you're all calculating how ancient I am. But first of all, I'm not the first person to talk about ChatGPT. I have a confession. So I had ChatGPT rewrite what I was going to talk about. Then I had Claude rewrite it. I heard that was better for writing. And all of that really accomplished was sucking all the human out of it, which I guess kind of makes sense, right? So I did give ChatGPT another chance, and I asked it to tell me, or send me links for some of the more popular TED Talks. And I did take away a couple things that I think were very helpful for me, and they were really reminders. The first was to be yourself. Now, I tend to be pretty direct, and I can't see my C Spire table. Raise your hand so I can see you. Don't be worried. They know me as I'm very direct, so they're probably thinking, what in the world is she about to say? But what I did was I rewrote the speech to really be more in Susie speak and more candid and more direct. And one of the things I've been thinking about is how I've been having a lot of deja vu lately. As Gary mentioned, we're a wireless provider. We've been a wireless provider since 1988. And there is a lot of the same things are happening today that we witnessed in wireless. So you can't escape. There's a new article every week on a merger or an acquisition, and you can kind of see the beginning of that era of consolidation happen. So when I think about playing the long game in fiber and what that means, I think that we're kind of very uniquely suited for knowing how we're going to approach that because we've been here before. The second thing that I learned from my TED Talk watching, which I watched several, was that to remember your purpose. And at C Spire, remembering and delivering on our purpose has served us really well over the years. It's helped us not just to compete, but to be successful for a really long time in facing some pretty steep odds, including wireless consolidation, which, believe it or not, wasn't the steepest odd. So you can see me after class if you're interested in what that was. But our purpose at C Spire is to improve lives through technology. We know, and at C Spire, our story is rich with examples of those stories. So our parent company is an independent telco founded in the 1940s, and because of that, we were able to participate in the very first cellular spectrum lottery. Now, you heard me right. It wasn't an auction, it was a lottery. It was free. So think about that for a second. That tells you what people in the 1980s thought of the future of what ended up being our cell phones, right? So when I think about where we are today in fiber, and as we stand on the edge of AI and quantum computing, I think here we go again. We really don't have a clue what our world's going to be like in 10, 20, 30 years. But we have a pretty good idea that it's going to be built on fiber, which is good news for all of us. Through the years, we built fiber to all of our towers because our vision is to be the best at what we do. And we were pretty early in doing that. And that enabled us to provide fiber internet to businesses. And it eventually enabled us to make 9 Mississippi cities and towns some of the first in the United States to have 1 gigabit fiber to the home. Today, we have 22,000 miles of fiber. We pass 300,000 homes from a fiber perspective. Meanwhile, we also acquired a company that enabled us to expand even more in terms of our service offerings to things like managed network, managed IT, cybersecurity, IT infrastructure. And eventually, because we were diversifying, we changed our name. Our prior name was Cellular South, so you can see how we needed to change it. And we changed that name to C-Spire, which stands for Customer Inspired, taking our heritage of really putting the customer first for those many years forward into our next chapters. Today, it's still very important for us to live into and deliver customer inspired. And one of the ways that we keep our teams focused on that is to tell our customer stories. So if y'all will cue the video.
Where will the next big idea come from? At C-Spire, we believe it's from our customers. Their commitment to change, their desire to transform, to move society forward and make a difference, inspires us every day.
Across the great state of Mississippi. Thanks for tuning in, however you're listening, wherever, whenever. If you're listening live on the radio, hey to you. Thanks for tuning in that way.
My name's Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show and podcast, and I host it in a studio in my house, and I've been doing that now for about 3.5 years. Annabeth can tell you, my excitement was genuine when I started seeing the C-Spire trucks up and down the street.
He was like a kid on Christmas morning. He's like, did you see that? C-Spire is in the neighborhood.
So the day that he installed that, I started uploading, and I watched those 6 audio files go, I mean, just one after the other.
The show that used to take you 30 minutes and he would say, don't touch the computer, the show's uploading, was done that quickly. Whether it's the PTO that I'm involved with and we're doing any kind of Zoom meeting, whether it's on the computer or the phone, using the smart TV. Our daughter, she does audio Zoom voice lessons. Now it's seamless.
And it's taken away a lot of the little stressors that would add up.
The whole transition has made everything better.
Everything we put in on and around us every day, it impacts us. Our mood, our behavior, our energy levels, growth and development. I'm Kelly Love, and I'm the co-founder of Branch Basics. We make human-safe cleaning products, and we educate people on how to create a healthier home. With Branch Basics, we never set out to sell soap. We set out to help people live healthier lives. We have over 30 employees that are all across the country. I work from home in Jackson, Mississippi, and C-Spire Internet allows me to connect with my team every day, whether I'm doing video calls, meetings, or podcasts, and still be a part of this growing company. First and foremost, I'm a mom, so I love working from home. I love the flexibility that it offers me. I can finish lunch with them and then head upstairs to go hop on a video call. And we've never had any issues. C-Spire's always been so reliable, which is such a gift. We really view ourselves as a content creator. We share ways that we incorporate healthy foods in our lives or healthy products. With C-Spire, we're able to educate people and help them through this journey.
The farm of the future is going to be indoor ag. It's sustainable year-round and can be made local anywhere. I'm Lee.
I'm Jamie.
And we're the owners of Salad Days Produce in Flora, Mississippi.
Salad Days is a local hydroponic lettuce farm growing pesticide and chemical-free lettuces for central Mississippi. The lettuce is growing in running nutrient water with the pH being corrected.
Salad Days has a lot of moving parts that involve technology. It requires fast and reliable internet to make that all work every day. Reliability is key. If we show up for work one morning and we don't have internet, we're in a world of trouble, and we've had great luck with C-Spire Fiber.
Once the harvest begins, when the plants are ready, we pick and pack the lettuce, and most of it goes out that day.
Jamie and I are so grateful that we get to wake up every day and do something we're passionate about, and C-Spire helps us do that.
These stories of inspiration touch our lives, lift us up, move us forward. We exist to empower these can-do people, to put our next-level technology and superior expertise in the service of their goals, to do the right thing, to do the smart thing, and put the customer first, because we're C-Spire, customer inspired.
Y'all, well, that is why we do what we do, right? I have to do a quick shout out to our customer that you saw, Kelly Love, the founder of Branch Basics. You can now find them in Target. We're very proud of them. So great job to our customer. But back to our topic of the long game, building a fiber business that's built to last. As I mentioned before, we've already lived through consolidation, and we know a little bit about building a company that's built on connectivity in a way that is playing the long game. So how has C-Spire been successful in doing that? So we've already talked about part of that, which is definitely our purpose. That's a big part of it. Diversification. We diversified early. That was very important as well. How we approach fiber is key as well. We go into markets where we can be number one or number two. And we also are very serious about our ROI. But when you think about and step back at the bigger picture of what really is behind our success and our plan going forward to play the long game in fiber, it comes back to four things that ladder up to one thing. C-Spire is an operator. We're a long-term operator. That's who we are at our core. The first thing, or first part of that, is when we say customer inspired, that really was a thing before it was a marketing campaign. So that's who we really mean it. So it goes back to how we deliver our customer experiences. We believe that the best customer service is not needing it. It comes down to keeping that mindset of keeping that customer at the forefront. And we have 1,800 employees now, which is a little bit more challenging to do that when you're trying to do it at a little bigger scale. And one of the ways that we have done that since the very beginning is customer satisfaction or customer experience surveys. We do those across all of our touch points. And as a result of focusing on that, our Net Promoter Score for home fiber is 46.8 points higher than the industry average. And we never stop focusing on the customer. We just rolled out a new program called Closer to the Customer, and we're matching all of our teams who are not on our front lines with people who touch our customers every day. I just had the privilege to do that with one of our RAEs in South Alabama, and I have to tell you, it is so impressive to see customer inspired in action with our customers. The second thing I think is really important is that we are able to make decisions for the long term. Now, we are privately held, so that is a luxury for us, I know. But a big part of that is knowing that we're going to be serving these same customers for decades to come. When you think about wireless, in that case, we are serving the next generation of our customers. And what does that mean in terms of long-term decision making? That means that when we go into neighborhoods, we make sure that when we're building fiber, we leave them better than we found them. It goes into how we build quality into our network, how we select our systems that will enable us to scale and grow a lot larger over the long term, our approach to operational excellence. It also spills into pricing. I can remember years ago in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, Cellular One at the time came out with a $9.99 cell phone plan. Imagine that. And our salespeople, of course, were all freaking out. But we all knew they were about to sell, right? They were propping up their subscriber numbers. When your vision statement is to be the best at what you do, that model doesn't support bottom basement pricing, right? Of course, we have promotions and we're competitive, but playing the long game does impact how you build your services and therefore price them. The third thing is that which I think it might be hard to imagine at the point we are in fiber, but playing the connectivity game over the long term and doing that by itself and being a dumb pipe will not work for the long term. What we've realized is you have to add value on top of that. A great example of that is our business services. So we have some of the most highly certified professional service engineers in the Southeast. We are top tier partners of Cisco and Dell and others. And we also have an AI Center of Excellence that's teaching our internal teams how to adopt AI faster than the rest of the country, hopefully, and then turn around and do that same thing for our business customers. The fourth thing is that while we all know that fiber is an investment and it's an expensive asset, we understand that our most important asset is our brand. In our part of the world, there are 3 major wireless brands, and C-Spire is either number 1 or number 2 in all of our markets. We've built a big brand in our markets by delivering on our vision every day. Now, we also know, as a technology leader, that we have a responsibility to our communities. We've also done things like, convinced our legislature to require computer science in schools. And then we donated $1 million to help our teachers learn how to teach it. And when you have the audacity to put the words customer inspired in your actual name, you really do have to earn it. And that's a big part of our brand. So we all know, now I'm not naive, that scale is important. But at C-Spire, we are well used to punching above our weight. Oh, I'm so sorry, that's really loud when you cough into that thing. I'm trying to get them to cue the thing just a little bit faster. It's not working. Okay, so thank you. Okay, the 2 things that I learned yesterday morning that I think are really important are, number 1, I will not be trying Ninja Napalm hot sauce. And number 2, co-opetition is a word. I really thought someone was being really clever, and so I looked it up last night. It's an actual word. I also think that co-opetition might be the recipe for success for us long-term operators in the room. Because we know scale matters, I'd be real interested to see what would happen if we would join forces. So if I'm speaking to you, and wow, there we go, backwards. I told them I'm not very coordinated. There you go. If I was speaking to you, this is how you can get in touch with us. So thank you. Enjoy the rest of the show.